easy to be like, oh, this stuff, it's nothing's going to get better and the world is collapsing. But I think in my own little bubble, I've had the time of my life. I've had the time of my life hanging with my friends and finding security in the areas that work for me. That I've had a lot of fun with, and I think the fact that we can sit down and do this is I'm so grateful for this. That that's I think the thing I'm most grateful for in 2025 is I found my community.
That was awesome.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Pipeline Podcast, episode 169. I am joined by a fabulous group of people for what we're dubbing the season 3 finale of the Pipeline. We have the one, the only, the fabulous, the amazing Everest is back. Everest, how are you? From Mountaintop Podcast.
Mountaintop
right?
of Sports, Mountaintop Podcast. Yes. Glad to be back, Darren. Always love coming on the Pipeline and talking about, that podcast is all about sports, but I try to weave in the pop culture when I can. And so I get to come over here and really flex that side of it. So happy to be here.
Incredible. Yeah, I always appreciate your annual, your biannual I'm on break. You got anything for me message that I get every spring, summer, and winter.
Every time I have a break from college, I text Darren and I'm like, so what can we do? Yeah.
I'm always next month's December. I wonder when.
So we were getting opposite messages, it seems like.
Absolutely. I'm joined by Mr. Joypad Jake, a longtime friend of the show. You've seen him quite a bit this year. How's it going, my friend? How are you?
Going good. Hope things have been going well on your guys' end. Appreciate you having me on.
Can't complain.
And Mr. Unchained himself, Ronan, how are you? What's been going on? Great to have you back, my friend.
I've been good. If my calculations are correct, I'm either just recovered from being drunk or a food coma.
Maybe both.
But yeah, I've been good. Another year older, so that's happening. But yeah. Always fun to hang out with you guys.
Yeah, we crossed a threshold this year, the both of us.
Which one?
Yeah, it's no, it's great. No, it's really great having you guys on. I mean, obviously Everest, me and you, we go way back. You're probably the first person that we've done this kind of field with. We were playing with this kind of template all the way back in 2018 kind of vibes, all the way back in the day. So obviously ending the year with you is obviously a pleasure. And then you two, I'm glad to have you two here because this time last year, you two were oh, those are guys I hang with sometimes. I see them every once in a while. Maybe I'll see them on Wednesday. Now there's not really it's likely that we chat once a day at this point via just all the shows that we do together. We are on that kind of daily grind set at this point with just Council, with Nerdcast, with Party Nation, with your guys' streams we did this year. Ronan, we had a lot of fun with Peacemaker this year. I was over on your side of things every Friday. That was a lot of fun, obviously. But yeah, no, today we are going to be looking upon 2025. This is obviously the last episode of 2025. This is the last episode of the season, if you will. And we kind of ending the year by looking upon what the year was in terms of movies, TV shows. It's never happened, but music, maybe comic books, if you guys have any of those kind of things you guys want to talk about. But before we do that, I do kind of want to ask you, and you guys can go as specific or non-specific as you possibly want, but I do want to ask you guys about your 2025s. How has this year treated you guys? How has this year been to you guys, if you will? Everest, let's start with you. I mean, obviously we don't talk as much as we probably used to, but how has your year been for you, man?
Yeah. Wow. A lot of pressure to go first.
I should have went backwards. Sorry.
No, it's 2025 has been an interesting year. I think it's gone by really fast. I have had I would say some of the biggest highs that I've had in my life to this point, like a lot of really, really good stuff. Both I'm in college. This is my third year right now that I'm on break from. So getting down to it, starting to really apply for some stuff in the workforce and look towards the future in that way. Been some hard stuff too, but yeah, personally, a lot of good stuff. And then as far as the movies and the stuff we're here to talk about, I think it's similarly been an interesting year with a lot of stuff I've really, really enjoyed, and then maybe also a lot of stuff that I'm a little bit middled on, or it's not like everything I watched this year has been excellent, but that's why I'm excited to talk about some of the stuff that I think has been today.
Incredible. No, it's been it's always a blast having that kind of like parasocial, seeing your Instagrams and your social medias and just seeing everything you're accomplishing and everything you're doing. I'm always very blown away and ecstatic seeing what you're working on. It's like, wow, he's doing that thing. Like that is
well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Darren.
Started a new podcast this year.
Love seeing Yes. Yeah. Started a podcast. Need to be more consistent on that. That's the one thing I have always been in awe of you, Darren, and honestly all you guys. Just like the consistency with which you put the time into stuff like this, because it's hard, and I know it's hard. So respect to you guys in that sense. I just get to come on here, twice a year, 3 times a year, and chat it up with my buddies. But yeah, respect on that. It's difficult.
Incredible, man. I'm looking forward to what you have in store for 2026. Let's skip around a little bit. Ronan, how about you, man? I have again, it's been an honor becoming better friends with you within the year. We've done a lot of stuff together, and I see the hustle that you go through. Like there have been days where you'll be like, yeah, I just worked a 13-hour shift, and then I edited for 2 hours, and then I do a 3-hour stream, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Like where did you find this extra 10 hours in your day? How has this year treated you, man?
It's been weird, man. And I don't know if it was because of how another year older I am, and I'm getting more not melancholic, but just more aware of fuck, man, time is moving quick as hell, and I wish I had both hands on the wheel to slow down. It's been an interesting one, and I think whenever I've been working on videos, as tiring as it can be, or as overwhelming it can appear, whenever I've worked on videos or hung out with you guys, I know I have been less or to no stress at all about being in the moment. Usually when it's the council, Nerdcast, Party Nation, or me doing stream, and then typically, I'm like, oh, but when I'm in it, I'm like, all right, cool. Nothing else is happening, and I've always been relaxed about that and happy about that. The moments I've gone to travel this year have also been a good thing for me. I just wish that I got paid to do those traveling things.
Yeah,
that'd be nice.
As far as I'm having, I just see the dollars and just go, and I'm just like, no. But it's been an interesting year. A lot of ups and downs. So I'm these next few weeks, I'm really looking at 2026 to be like, yo, I'm cutting that shit off now, and then just very specific of and letting people empowers to be like, listen, I want to do this, this, and this, and I'm working on this, and Eric was saying that a lot of it has to do with consistency with YouTube, and that is also taxing because if you fall off for a quick second, you guys know about this. Either the algorithm works against you, or the audience just forgets about you, and so you're trying your best to not stay relevant, but just stay consistent enough so there's some energy and foundation to what you're working on. So these next few weeks are gonna be very pivotal for me to look at what I want to do next year. That way, halfway through it, I don't feel like I'm turning 50 when I just about to turn 30.
Fair. I mean, listen, you had a crazy year. You did the Comic-Con this year. Was Japan this year? Or was that last year?
That was
Pandas
this year.
Wow.
Like that, like you were probably like one of the biggest, like, hey, I'm just gonna go do this thing, and I'm like, what? You're just going to go to Japan? Like that's those are crazy huge swings, but
Yeah.
you take it in strides and you do so many things, and again, I've talked about this with you more times than I can count at this point, but I do think my favorite memory of this year was the chairs. Chairs is my favorite
was
thing.
one of them.
Like directly connected to that memory of just like
Mhm.
us jumping halfway through, being like, what are these chairs? And we're there for the next 3 hours as all our friends slowly come in.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, we're going to stare at chairs for 3 hours as they announce names for a movie that we know nothing about. Like, that was such a crazy experience. And like,
It hit me of being a nerd. I'm like, usually the nerds would hang out in the library to go play D&D in the corner where nobody sees them, even the jocks for the football players. That was the closest we got to doing that. And we got to do it staring chairs, and we had 15 to 11 minutes to talk about, okay, what's next? What's this gonna mean? So yeah, I echo that sentiment.
No, like I appreciate that so much, because it was like I had no one at the start. I was like, I'm just gonna do this and it'll be by myself. And by the end, we had like 10 people in there, non-scheduled, as we're all just like screaming. They're like, "Oh my god, it's Tom Hiddleston! It's blank, blank, blank." So that was obviously a blast. And then Mr. X-Men hat over there. How's your 2025 been, my friend?
It's hard
Good stuff. All right.
I mean, I don't know. It's hard to find one word to just like surmise all of it, because like on any given day it could be a different feeling. I think Rona might have said it best. Just weird in both good ways and bad.
Yeah.
I had like there was some spontaneousness. I don't know if that's the right way to say that, but there was a little bit of that nature this year as well. With the different events that I attended, and some of those did come with a little bit of a monetary bonus, because I guess you can call this a side hustle, but whenever I have an event near me that's somebody in one of my friend groups that says, hey, I would like, a print from insert person here. If I'm near that, we just essentially get like a little side hustle business going where, like we get reimbursed for our time, our mileage, like that sort of thing. So it's just like a little side thing that helps. Obviously, it's not enough to live on, but it's just nice extra stuff whenever the opportunity arises. I had 2 of those this year, so that was kind of nice. And one of them, it was actually 2 weeks ago, where I was up for 21 hours straight and was dead tired by the end of it, but it definitely had its worthwhile outcome. And overall, yeah, this year's definitely been one of growth, one of a lot of trial and error, and that's kind of just a life thing and a YouTube side of thing. Like there's a lot of trial and error. You're gonna try things out; they won't always work, and even if it's something that doesn't work, and if you can still learn from it, then it's a win. So if you can learn something to make the next time you do it better, or the next thing you do better, then I think always treasure that. We always, as humans, we get in a bad habit of taking, our, losses or our shortcomings really difficult, but, we are only human. There's only so much we can do. And it's about learning how to do better in the future. Got a lot on the docket for next year, to where, similar to where Ronan said, I don't want to feel like burnt out, but also consistent, and with potential opportunities next year that I've told you guys about that is looking to happen. So we'll see. All fingers crossed. But yeah, no, this year there are some things that definitely sucked in the moment, but I'm glad I went through the experience, if nothing else, to realize, okay, so I know how to do this wrong now. Now let's figure out how to do it right.
Yeah.
So
It's
nothing else. I was
important.
grateful for those lessons.
Yeah, that's
and
important.
No matter how old you get, it's like at some point when you get to a certain age, you feel like I've been here before. I knew this already. I already went through this, and I hate having to relearn lessons, but sometimes you need to.
Yeah. No, it's been again, I won't mention what it is, itself, but like it's been cool seeing that journey for you this year and the slow like, oh, what might happen? I don't know. To now on that side of it, it's just like, oh man, it's cool to see that confidence in you. It's cool to see that growth that you've gone through, just on the personal side, and then also just on this side too. Like I think we've all got better at kind of what we do on here throughout the year, and I think that just happens with time and with maturity and with just growth. I think you do anything long enough, you begin to slowly see that growth within you, and I think that's all very awesome. I think that's incredible.
How's yours been?
Oh yeah, I guess I should have to answer that, huh? I was like, I
Come on,
didn't press
Darren.
mine. Yeah, no, it's been I think a year of like just kind of like slowly getting into it, I guess. I feel like, at least on this side of the fence of just like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't feel like I'm doing this right. And this is a year of like, oh yeah, I'm doing it. I feel like I'm actually confident in myself that I'm doing the thing. And I feel like 23 is the year where you are no longer officially a teenager and you're not fully adult either. It's in that like, oh, I am the adult. I am the adult now, and now I have to do the adult things, and I have to do the thing. There's no safety net anymore. And so it is definitely like, okay, let's buckle down and do this. And it's been a year of safety for me, I think. It's been a year of like leaning on the things that I know works. And I'm excited for next year because I think my main goal next year is getting out of that safety net a little bit, getting out of that comfort zone of like, I see what I want. I see where I need to go. How do I get out of this arena of sharks to get over there? If that makes sense.
Yeah, it's all about taking that jump.
But I've adored 2025 outside of the weird state of the world that we are in. It's easy to be like, oh, this stuff, it's nothing's going to get better and the world is collapsing. But I think in my own little bubble, I've had the time of my life. I've had the time of my life hanging with my friends and finding security in the areas that work for me, that I've had a lot of fun with. And I think the fact that we can sit down and do this is I'm so grateful for this that I fully, that's I think the thing I'm most grateful for in 2025 is I found my community. I've officially found my like, oh, these are my people. These are the people that I lean on, and I'm so grateful for that for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, with that being said, I think we're gonna dive right into this thing, man. 2025, it's been just like from like the film and TV area, it's been such an insane year. Like it's been a year of endings and beginnings. It's a year of transition from just an entertainment standpoint to even like shareholders and CEOs standpoints. Like people are talking about leaving. There's buyouts, there's sellouts, it's been an interesting year. But yeah, we're gonna just jump right into this and talk about some of our favorite things of 2025. Now, we're going to do this roundtable style, one by one. We're going to name something that we really like this year. If it's movies, TV shows, music, comic books, dirt bikes, I don't know, anything we want to that we really vibe with. I don't know. If you have a favorite
talking about dirt bikes.
I don't know. Whatever you want to really express from the year, I want to give you guys the opportunity to do that. So, Everest, let's start with you, and then we'll go through until it gets back to me. Everest, what is the first thing you would like to shout out from 2025?
Yeah. So I think, Darren knows this, and I think, I've been on with you guys before. I have, as the years gone on, transitioned a little away from like the comic book stuff where I started. Like that was where I was super, super into media at one point, and all of that. And I think it's great that a lot of you and so many people still are. I have transitioned more into like sort of the more general film, like Academy Award level type stuff. That's kind of become some of my wheelhouse. But when I knew I was coming on this show, there was nothing else that I wanted to start this off with than Ryan Coogler's Sinners. I think it's the best movie of the year. I think it is a perfect combination of like this really deep personal story with high level filmmaking and craft with it's a dope ass vampire movie, and there's cool action, and Michael B. Jordan is doing Michael B. Jordan things.
Yeah.
And I've loved Ryan Coogler since the original Creed movie. I think that's one of the most slept on movies of the 2010s. I think Black Panther is really good. But Sinners, to me, feels like him fully unleashed as an artist in a way that we haven't seen before, in that Creed feels very original in a lot of ways, but is ultimately a new generation of the Rocky franchise. And then Black Panther, same thing, but it's within the context of this Marvel Cinematic Universe. Sinners, to me, feels like a true passion project from one of the most talented up-and-coming filmmakers that we have right now. And I've seen it 3 times now. Can't wait to watch it again in the future. I love that movie.
That's such a like it's going to be in like the thumbnail. Like it is like, I do think it might be like the movie of the year. If it's your favorite movie or not, I think it might be the movie to like represent movies in 2025. And I feel like it's so solemnly now that like you watch a movie and you think that's a modern classic. That's going to tail the test of time. And I see that and one other movie that came out this year, which I may mention later, I don't know, that I'm like, oh, that's going to be iconic in 10 years. People are still going to be talking about this movie in 10, 20, 30 years. There's going to be like, those actors are going to be old on stage, you know, talking about what it was like to be in that movie, you know, in like several decades. So I'm very glad someone brought that up. And if you didn't, I assume one of us would have by the end at least.
Yeah.
You guys have any thoughts on Sinners? Did you guys like that one as well?
So it initially run, I missed it because there was just a lot of going down.
Mm-hmm.
But you're doing the 70mm re-release, and I'm going to LA soon. So I'm hoping that either before I go to LA or during LA, I find a screening to myself and just be like, all right, everybody, F off. I need to be alone. And like, I just need to be in Coogler's like realm for 2 hours and whatnot.
That's gonna be awesome. That's gonna be awesome, dude.
And like, I got that, and what was the other one? One bad after another. That again, just because the lost up, and that one probably hits closer to home than I would have thought. But like, that's another one that I'm trying to catch in 7mm or in film, and be like, okay, the 2 big movies that I've been hearing about, I finally saw them before the year ended. Now where they fall on my ranking of top 5 movies, because I have a top 5 movies list that is I've been hearing from people that I've watched and people I've talked to is very different than everybody else. I'm like, all right, that's fine. That's what makes it cool, I guess.
Yeah.
It's so easy to miss those big ones. Like it's like, I feel like so often like the big ones are out before we know they're big ones. It's like, oh, I was supposed to see that massive movie and now it's gone. I guess I have to wait for it to become somewhere streaming or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
So it's tough. All right, Ronan, what would your first pick today be? What is a movie or TV show or whatever that you would like to shout out?
Oh man, I'm gonna go with Andor. Because that was this year.
Yeah.
It concluded, and again, it feels so long away. But Andor, to me, I always say that like when this show was announced, I was like, oh, okay, cool. I like Cassian Andor, the character in Rogue One. I have a lot of deep connection to that character because of who I am and my background. But then they announced the show, and I was like, okay, I'll watch it. I wasn't really fully wanting that, but I'll watch it. And then that first season dropped, and I was like, what? Are they gonna do this? If they pull the punches, I'm gonna feel it, but if they don't, holy hell. And then we get to season 1, I was like, yo, that rivals The Mandalorian for me, which is my favorite Star Wars show and whatnot. And then we got season 2, and it was like, I joke to the guys now, Everett, that I'm like, what Andor season 2 is what X-97 did for me. And I was like, I didn't think you could do that with a world and characters that I love and go the distance. And I was so, that show was almost therapeutic a lot, because too much stuff was happening in the real world that what the show was doing, like, you know, someone gets pulled out of the Senate, someone in the real world gets pulled out of a room that's, you know, very like topical and whatnot. And I was just like, how the fuck is this so like relevant? And it ends on a very hopeful yet sad ending, and it's beautifully shot. I'm patiently waiting for Bob Iger to drop that Blu-ray because I want it. I have season 1, and it's one that like it's one of those shows that like again you watch shows and you're like, oh, I love that show, and I had a blast watching it. And then there's the level up of those shows that you just keep thinking about over and over again.
Yep.
97 and Andor season 2 are the ones that like not even just moments or scenes or sequences, but just like lines of dialogue or a moment from a character, even from good ones and the bad ones. Like yesterday, I went shopping and I saw a Funko Pop of Deidre Miro, one of the villains of the antagonist of Andor, and I'm like, she is such a cool character, but F her. And yeah, the only thing I could think of is just like tell people, please go watch it. Even if you're not a Star Wars fan, even if you're not big into like political thrillers and espionage, like go give it a try, because you can't tell me that that's not a well-made show and whatnot. It may not be your cup of tea, but like, please give it a try.
I need to get caught up.
It's the first Star Wars project in a while that has shown you how the world is affected by all these different things that happen. It focuses on the wider world more than the characters, and I think the franchise had been kind of missing that for a while, and you got to see how the everyday person reacted to the big things happening.
I think, as someone who still has not done season 2, I apologize, Ronan, but like I think Star Wars needed that kind of win for a minute. Like it feels like I've liked a lot of the stuff, but I feel like they needed the like, this is good. Like objectively, this is good. This is what people. Yeah, like I think again, not getting into that.
Not like Darren's on his high
like,
horse for
like,
Skeleton Crew over here, and then other people are like, yeah.
I thought Skeleton Crew was terrific.
I like Skeleton Crew.
I got the Funko. I loved Skeleton Crew. I thought it was great.
But I'm glad he pointed out, because that at this point is what people I think underestimate of the franchise. That there's so much range happening right now.
Sure.
Yeah, like anybody can go into Star Wars right now. Whether you're older, whether you're younger, whether you're female, male, non-binary, like there is something there for y'all, even in animation. And yeah, like again, like you were saying that like the echoes of stuff that's happening, and it's just like I remember when Game of Thrones was talking about that. I remember when other shows were talking about that, and it's just like the fact that Star Wars is doing that, and people are still talking about the shows.
Right.
It's And
this last like year plus has proven that people connect to things in Star Wars that do not have the Skywalker name on them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is huge, and that's I think what they need to take away from that, hopefully, and go even further with it. Is it doesn't have to have Skywalker on it at all, as long as it's good, it's relevant. It connects to people. There's going to be the audience for it. I, similarly to Darren, need to get through season 2 of Andor. I am notoriously awful at keeping up with TV shows, but I found a lot to like in season 1. So one of these days I will get to it. But I agree with the sentiment that it is a huge win for Star Wars to have something like Andor right now.
Because I mean, just look at how every movie starts. Like, what are the first words you see on that opening crawl? Long, long time ago, galaxy far, far away. There's so much in that you can tell. Not everything has to be with that same Skywalker story.
I'm so excited for that, like Ryan Gosling Star Wars project.
Starfighter, they just got filming. Yeah,
that feels like fresh and organic to me, and I'm excited to see what they do there.
I hope that this project is still happening, but I want to see Mangold's Dawn of the Jedi. I really want to see that.
Yeah.
These next couple are going to be important to just like, do they keep doing these like creatively driven projects, or do they just go back to like, but money and stuff like that? So pretty interesting. All right, Jake, what is first on your docket? We've done one TV show, we've done one movie. Are you going the dirt bike route with your first take, or are we going?
I haven't ridden a dirt bike since I was a teenager, so I would not have much to contribute. I was going back and forth. This second one might get mentioned at some point. I honestly thought Ronan was going to bring it up first, but I'll go ahead and throw this first one out there. The first one I want to mention this year is one that, like, it's well regarded, but I don't see enough people bringing it up. That's Thunderbolts.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you didn't did it, I would have.
No, I mean that out of everything this year, that was the comic project I connected with the most.
Yeah.
Was the first one of these MCU movies in a while that felt like it was about something. It had something to say. And it reminded me of why a lot of those films that because they went smaller in scale, that let them go deeper, and that you get some of the more resonant films in that regard. And like there were throughout all those cast members that you got, whether it's Yelena or Bucky or Walker, like I found some part of each of those characters that made me connect to them in a way and relate to parts of their pasts. So it was an emotionally resonant film with me in that regard. And kind of like what you guys were saying, over like the last year or so, how we've like all kind of found each other as a community, similar to how they did in that movie, like how they were kind of leaning on each other through bits of that movie. It kind of reminds me of the relationship that we've all formed here. So that part was resonant with me in that regard. And I've had, there are still people that are, related to me through blood that I still love to this day, but I've always been a stickler just for found family, period. And it really, it meant a lot to me that, these people that were kind of dejected were able to find their family within each other. I liked that aspect of it a lot. And maybe this is a bold statement, but I feel like that movie is what the MCU forgot it could be.
Yeah.
So
I felt that too. I felt like coming out of that, I was like, oh, that's a feeling I haven't, like, I still love the MCU. I enjoy like 90% of the stuff that comes out, but that was a like, oh wait, what's that feeling?
Yeah.
Like there's a feeling there. I was like, I haven't felt that in a minute.
Yeah.
I haven't felt that feeling in a while.
Yeah. And I didn't know how to feel going into it because I'm just gonna take a guess that out of all of us here, I don't know who else here has read Thunderbolts comics, but in like the late 2000s through early 2010s, I was reading a lot of them whenever it was, Norman Osborn's team, especially. So, reading through that, going into this movie, I didn't expect them to be like super uber faithful. I was like, okay, are they just borrowing the name here? Because a lot of people on that team are typically not in comics, but I didn't mind that. I was like, let's see what they do. And I walked out of the film loving it. They even throw, nods into there for people that read comics. So I appreciate that part. But like you said, made me feel something for one of these movies that I haven't in a while. So much so that I had to get one of these. I just had to do that.
Woo!
Yep. Had to. I am so stoked to see more of those characters in this next year, because we obviously have them appearing in Doomsday. There's rumors that Florence Pugh is in Spider-Man, so I'm going to see what happens there. Yeah, I adored this movie, and it was definitely, out of comic movies, it was by far my favorite of the year.
It was also my favorite book project of 2025.
Same. Yeah,
and all three of you guys favorite comic book movie of the year.
And it's been a pretty good year for comic book movies, in my opinion. I dug Fantastic Four, I dug Superman, but there was something, and I remember feeling it in the last year's Comic-Con, being like, with the footage they showed, I'm like, this is probably the wild card of that year of comic films. And as soon as it ended, there were all these rumors of what's Jake Schreier gonna do, the director? And then I was like, he's the one gonna be developing X-Men. I was just like, if he could do this with Thunderbolts, ooh, okay, I'm with him if he does that with
Same. Yeah, and I'm on that whole spectrum. I really dug Fantastic Four as well. I'm on the record of saying I did not dig Superman, but that's fine. I appreciate that it was for a number of people, but yeah, this film really resonated with me. I predicted that it was going to be the one that would surprise people, and I just wish the box office would have showed that.
I think it's unfortunate that I think it was the lowest box office for comic book movies last year or this year, I guess. Was
it the lowest?
Isn't it the lowest? I think Captain America edged it out barely, and then Fantastic Four edged all three out, and then Superman I think was number one for comic book.
Yeah, well, I know Superman was number one. I just couldn't remember if this made more than Captain America or not.
Isn't it crazy when we're talking about Superman being the number one box office comic book movie and made $700 million, and we used to be in the golden age, it'd be every year
$2 billion
movie was a comic book movie, and it made 1.3 billion minimum.
Yeah. And now we're gonna have movies coming out where it needs to make $1 billion just to get its money back.
Yeah.
All right.
Can I give my Thunderbolts piece? I saw the
no,
movie
of course,
too.
of course.
I love that you guys found so much in it. I liked the movie. I think the third act is perfect when I watch it, and again, I've only seen it once, so it might be one that I actually go back to, even though I haven't been rewatching a lot of Marvel stuff. I think that third act is unbelievable and made me feel like the purpose of the movie. I do think for me personally, it was a little bit of a trudge to get there. Like, I think that first and second act don't work for me as well. I think there's a little bit of pacing issues. It's just a little bit more of like a run-of-the-mill MCU movie compared to once you get into that third act and they're doing all the cool stuff in the Shadow Realm or whatever it is, and like
Void,
the stuff
yeah.
with Sentry, the Void. Thank you. That, I mean, the visuals on that are unbelievable. And I do like the theming they get to. I just, that wasn't reciprocated through the entire movie for me.
I
Fair enough.
agree with the second half. I do think the second half is my personal least favorite act of the movie, but like I didn't think it was bad. Like I thought it was like, okay, they needed maybe a slightly better transition and maybe some characters needed a bit more screen time. But like to me that was such a like I don't like it was such a like it's whatever. Like if these are my only issues with it, I was like I'm fine. I'm
Right.
okay with it.
And I've gotten the movie on 4K since, like that and Fantastic Four were the two I had to get this year. And the movie actually has a really good making of, just for like the characters talking about the themes, the actors, the director, and how they shot it. I really recommend looking at the making of that movie.
Cool.
I do think it gets better with time though too. Like I liked it a lot the first time. That second time I was like, oh, I think I love this. Like I think this like it's really solid. And then I think with most MCU movies, I find myself liking it less as I think about it as time goes on. And this one, I'm like, I think I kind of like it more as I've sat with it, which is
And also,
exciting.
remember, like before it came out, we were like, okay, these next films are going to lead us into Doomsday, and then we don't live in the vacuum. So like, oh my gosh, what are they going to do with Doomsday? Is this going to be a cluster, of what Infinity War Endgame did, and like how are we going to leading up? And I'm optimistic. I'm pumped, but there is some caution. I am going into that movie just because of the circumstances, how we got to said movie. And Darren's has been preaching to the choir, which I agree of. Like there should have been at least one Avengers movie beforehand to establish who's the main roster before we go to another seismic event.
I don't even know if you needed one more movie. I think you had plenty of chances to do it with these movies, and they just didn't.
Yeah, and I told the fellows that like as soon as I left Thunderbolt, I'm like, okay, this group of characters, I am pumped to see in Doomsday. I'm like, okay, I'm good with watching them and where they go in Doomsday. Like they're my keyhole to go into that film. Besides just the usual eye candy suspects that are going to be in that movie.
Yeah. I think you really could have established, like, I don't even think you need to spend a whole lot of the movie doing this, but just something at the end of, I think, Brave New World would have been the perfect time to do this, was to establish a new Avengers team that is led by Sam. And then you get Yelena's and then, have a convergence of the two.
Yeah.
Like the perfect time to do it, and they just didn't.
The two factors of the Doomsday is that, like, I dug the Fantastic Four movie a lot. So FF and Thunderbolts / New Avengers, those when we're going to be focused on those two groups in the movie, I'm good. I'm pumped. I'm set. I'm like, I vouch for them. They did enough to work to do going into it. I'm there for them. Everything else, I'm like, ooh, how's that going to work?
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Sorry, we were on that one for a minute. Sorry.
It's all right. You're completely fine. I definitely had more love, I think, for TV this year, which I'll get to. But I do want to give a shout out to a movie I was very happy with. I don't know if it's a secret. I feel like the Disney guy of our group. And I feel like these last couple of years has been me being like, it's going to be good, guys. And it comes out, I'm like, it wasn't good. Oh, man. So I was very happy that Zootopia was finally the one. I'm like, yes, I was right. It was good, guys. It was a good one.
I love that for you, man.
I love the first one. I think the first one's a modern classic. It's, it's been such a shareholder within the Disney world, I guess, within the last 10 years. And then, with Wish and with Moana 2, and I guess just sequels of Disney in general, I haven't been super happy with. I've just been like, they're okay. And yeah, Zootopia 2 was great. I thought it was such a fresh of breath of fresh air, I guess would be the proper way to say it. I think it kind of takes everything you love about that first movie and it says, we're trying something. We have those elements you still love in there, but we're going a very different tone, a very different direction. I think it goes a lot deeper than that first movie. There are like themes and tones in this movie that I was very shocked that they went in. Like there's, not to spoil the movie at all, but like there are these themes about like how the powerful will steal from the weak and the quiet to stay in power. And I'm like there's elements of these stories I'm like, these are stories that need to be told right now. Like we are like at the moment seeing these exact same things happen in the real world and how it like reflects the world at large. I thought was beautiful. The characters are fun and endearing. I do wish there was more than a week time jump in between movie 1 and movie 2 with there being a 10-year gap in real life. That would have been maybe
week.
It's literally only a week. I was like, I could have
Wow.
done like a month or something.
Okay.
It's kind of a long movie too. It's like an hour 40, and I think it could have maybe been like maybe another 5 to 10 minutes to flesh out some of these characters a bit more. But I liked it. It's in my top 5 of the year. I was happy that
Very nice.
a world that I like, it was actually good this time, and so that was nice. All right, Everest, we are back to you.
Okay.
What is your next choice? What is the next thing you want to give shout out to?
Well, I gotta get to Zootopia 2 at some point because I really like that first movie as well. I'm a sucker for world building when it's done well, and I think that is one of the coolest Disney examples of creating a world that hasn't existed before. Anyways, I watched a little bit of TV this year as well. I'm not gonna go there yet, and I know Darren's gonna care. You guys got it covered there. When I brought up Sinners, the other one Ronan mentioned that he wants to get to still is Paul Thomas Anderson's One Battle After Another. And that's where I got to go with my second pick. I felt sort of surprised that I am so in line with what seems like the consensus of the overall, like the prestige movie heads of this year, and that it's Sinners and One Battle After Another at the top, because I'm right lockstep with them. I think those are the best movies I've seen. I was thrilled with One Battle. It is the quickest 2-hour, 45-minute movie I've ever seen. Like, it is long, but it is paced super well. It flies by. All the performances are incredible. You get an excellent Leonardo DiCaprio. You get an excellent, despicable Sean Penn as the villain in this one. Chase Infinity is a new star in the making. And I love how it combines some really tense and fun action stuff. This is probably the most action-heavy Paul Thomas Anderson movie. He usually sticks like very drama-heavy or even like dark comedy style stuff, but this one has some kick-ass action scenes. And then it also has a ton of social commentary and talks about the state of our world and is kind of like radically progressive in a lot of ways. And so I appreciated it a ton. I think it's a masterpiece. I feel comfortable saying that. I'm probably going to watch it again with my parents here sometime soon. It just dropped on HBO Max. So highly recommend if people haven't seen One Battle After Another. It's excellent. It doesn't quite reach Sinners level for me, but it goes for a lot, and I think it succeeds. Yeah, I like that a lot.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's I think one of I think that's the main run from the year where everyone's like, well, that is the film of the year. And I'm like, I know, I gotta put it on the list. I gotta that is I think like the big like Oscar movie I think going into the year where like
it's probably gonna win Best Picture, Darren.
Yeah.
It's probably our Best Picture winner.
Yeah.
I definitely like Sinners a lot too. It just, and I mean just, misses my top 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Close. I respect it.
With it being on HBO Max, I think I'm finally going to be like, okay, I'll find it. I'll find it. Ronan, what is your next pick?
I'm going to go with a film this time, and a film that I think might win the Best Picture, in my opinion. But again, I got to watch those movies. I'm going to go with Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein.
Yep, I was going to mention it if you didn't.
That movie has been in the making since I think before I even was conceived. Like, I've been hearing about this movie that he's been wanting
Yeah.
to do for so
Del Toro's wanted to do it forever. Yeah.
long. And I remember he was on Q&A with Collider, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm doing like very casually. Yeah, I'm doing Frankenstein." I was like, "Wait, what? You're finally doing it?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm going to do it with Oscar Isaac." And I was like, probably my favorite director and my favorite actor are going to work together. What?" And I remember the first teaser, out of Netflix. I think it was the Dumb Vent, and hearing Oscar Isaac's voice and his callus with as Victor. And the visuals, and then I was like, okay, I gotta go. And again, like a lot of the Toro films nowadays, I have to travel away to go watch it. I did that with Pinocchio and Shape of Water. I had to go an hour away from where I live to go watch it. I did that Frankenstein, and it was just bliss watching that movie on the big screen. And another very therapeutic thing because it's about fathers and sons, and I was just like, woof.
Yeah.
Toro. Okay, I get to skip a therapy session. Cool. But I think it is one of his best films, in my opinion.
So
I think I see a lot of his previous work there, like muscles and things he tried doing early on that I think either perfected or he just got the tone right or the visual that he wanted. And I think this is going to do a lot for him, Oscar Isaac, and Jacob Elordi. And Mia Goth. What Mia Goth did in this film as well. Yeah, I think this film also is going to be a huge swing. And again, it's a weird thing because of what's happening in the real world between Netflix and Warner Brothers. How like this film, they were the only studio willing to put up the money.
Yeah,
and I give kudos to that. And they put it out on a theatrical release for more than a week. So if they have a nomination and then they potentially win, I think that like in a hopeful sense, this might mean that like, okay, they're not just doing rom-com and just throwing TVs just to fill out subscriptions.
Yeah.
No, they're actually willing to like put in the work. And if they do open up their mindsets about like the theatrical experience, maybe people might get behind them on like, okay, we didn't want this merger. Mergers aren't good, but like this might be a good signal of a film that should stand on its own as just good film. And that like this might mean more creative stuff like this might come down the pun intended, the pipeline. And I just adore that the music. And again, I've been waiting to see Del Toro's take on this for a long time, and it's my outside of the original film with Boris Karloff, this might be my favorite version of Frankenstein.
I will say just like really quickly to bounce off your thing, Ronan. Like, obviously I'm anti-buyout. Obviously I'm in a world where I wish that wasn't happening.
Same.
But they do have a really good selling point right now with Frankenstein and Knives Out. Like, they did just happen to put two really good ones right back to back. I'm like, God damn it, that is a good argument.
Yeah.
Like, obviously,
I feel like the marketing for Knives Out should have been better, though. I feel like outside of the fact that it is a new Knives Out movie, they like I've barely seen anything for it before it came out, so that worries me a bit. But
under control,
quality wise, it's true. They're on a mini heater right now. They've hit a couple shots in a row.
No, if it wasn't brought up, I was definitely going to give Frankenstein its flowers. That film's terrific. Del Toro,
it's a good movie.
Knocked it out of the park again. I personally think James Gunn needs to give Del Toro a call.
Really dark.
Constantine.
He's been wanting to do that for years. He's been wanting to do JLD for years. So we'll see what happens there. But no, what's funny is you brought it up. So Frankenstein is in my top 3 of films. Like it's that one, Thunderbolts, and one other one that I'll mention in a minute. But it is going to be funny if for 2 years in a row my favorite movie is a monster film, because Nosferatu was my favorite last year. So it would be funny if that happened 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I watched it. I started the other day. I finished it last night. I texted you, Ronan, because I was like, oh no, he's been like very high on this movie all year. I finally got to it, and yeah, I also really liked it. It took me a minute to get into it, if I'm being honest. Like, I don't know. I think going into it, I think that trailer kind of sold it as something a little different to me. Like, it looked like it was going to be this like kind of a different vibe. So I think it took me a minute to be like, oh, I'm back on the track of what they're doing. And I do think that first act takes a minute to get there. But I think once they are there, once you are in it, it's a beautiful movie. Like once I'm like, oh, I get it now. Okay. Like it is a very gorgeous movie. I think maybe some aspects of it maybe could have been a little bit more fleshed out in my, like I maybe sometimes wanted just a little bit, just to go like a little bit deeper sometimes. And I think they kind of
agree.
speedrun
I
some of
thought-
the elements of it.
I thought,
But-
especially when you look at like the novel, I think this movie sacrificed a little bit of nuance in order to hone in on the like father-son stuff that it really clearly wanted to do, and then like the visuals. So I think there's tweaks I would have made. I also this is just a me thing. Jacob Elordi has such a like specific look that when I'm seeing him as this monster, I can't not just see Jacob Elordi. And so the whole time I was like, oh, it's just Jacob Elordi going, oh.
Yeah. Yeah, but no,
But-
this is one of two big wins for Ralph Ineson this year. So
Yeah. But no, good movie. Good pick.
Yeah. All right, Jake, what's your next one?
So this one, I was so happy that I enjoyed this as much as I did. I'm gonna go with another film. I'm gonna go with a hat trick here, and it's actually, I guess this is my third. This is my second. I can't count apparently, but this is a franchise that, even though I loved how it started, a number of ones in this franchise I've been either negative or middle of the road on. They had a really low point, and then they were steadily coming back with a few of their entries, and this entry solidified why I love this IP to begin with. I'm going to go with Predator Badlands.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
I was literally wondering who's gonna bring up Predator because that franchise this year. I'm not saying
Big
film,
year for
franchise.
Predator. Big year for Predator.
Yeah, because like that original Predator is still one of my favorite films of all time. I did not like the second one that much, and then the Shane Black Predator I really don't like. And then we got a step back in the right direction. I feel with Prey. Like I don't adore that movie, but I feel like it was definitely a big step in the right direction.
I'm a
And
big Prey fan. I love Prey.
Yeah.
That's
Then
a good
this year
movie.
you got the 1-2 combo this year of Killer Killers and Badlands, both I think great in their own way. And I think I think Badlands was really one of those films that hit thematically with me because you have just these concepts of proving yourself to the wider world, not only proving yourself to those around you but also to you, like living up to your own expectations, odd alliances, explore like the identities of these outcasts, again, kind of like Thunderbolts, that finding family aspect. And then that whole corporate control side of things is a lot of things that I've battled in my life at one point or another. Some of them are still ongoing, and I think it was just another one of those films that I saw at the right time because all of the themes that I was exploring were things that I could resonate with in one way or another. And it was not just mindless action; it actually had something to say, and I appreciated that a lot.
Hell yeah. No, I also enjoyed it a lot. I thought it was, I didn't think it was perfect. I had some issues with it, but like, I think you got to respect a franchise that tries something so radically different with a franchise. Like, it felt like the franchise was over here and they went all the way over here. I was like, whoa. And as my first Predator movie in theaters, because I've had a fun year of just going to all
that's
the
sweet, man.
movies, and then
That's awesome.
most of the Prey, I still need to do Prey, I'm so sorry. But like I was like, oh, this is so much fun. But I can also understand if people didn't. Like, it feels like, oh, if you are like very loyal Predator, I could see you not liking it very much because it is so different. It is something so fresh and new.
I appreciated that. I liked that I
Yeah.
just wasn't seeing the same thing again. I love the Predator
Exactly.
IP. Like I liked that it still stood out and still felt fresh, but it still felt like a Predator. It didn't lose the identity.
No, and it's
I
a
kinda-
PG-13 movie, guys. It's a
Yeah.
PG-13 movie, and like, it's one of those things where like they can get away with it because there's no human blood. And
Yep.
it's just, like, I was just like, oh, I love that about it. And
That's
I told you
creative right
guys, I kept telling you guys, and again, Comic-Con last year, or no, this year, Jesus, I was like, we saw the first 20 minutes, and I was like, yo,
Yeah.
that was so cool and emotional. If they F it up it's gonna be one of the biggest f ups of all time, and they didn't.
Yeah, I was so
Yeah.
happy that they stuck the landing with that film.
It's fun. Yeah,
I
I
still
kind of
gotta get
almost
to this one, but I told Darren earlier I
Mhm.
watched Killer of Killers
Yeah.
Oh, so
today
good.
Oh,
for the first, literally before I got on here.
Yeah.
Check that out, and that was really cool. I enjoyed that a
Yeah.
lot. So
yeah.
I'm gonna
it's
get
been
to
a good year for
Badlands.
Predator.
I
Yeah.
just missed it in theaters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I won't choose that one, but yeah, like I think Killer of Killers was up there for me, like because like I messaged Ronan, I was like, "Hey, I've never seen a Predator movie. Can I watch this movie?" And he's like, "Yeah, I guess so." Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like totally.
Yeah.
And I that was such a fun introduction. I think it almost ruined it for me for a second because I was like, "Are they all like this? Are they all on this level?" And it's like, no, but they're good in
No.
different ways.
The spirit
They're
is there. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean,
that one.
we can stay in this kind of genre, the like horror genre, a little bit because like Everest knows I don't like horror. Like that's not my genre of thing. And when I started the show, I had no idea that this would be my favorite show of 2025. Welcome to Derry was the biggest shock for me in 2025. By the end of the show, I could not believe how incredible that show was. It's a show that kept on tricking me. I won't spoil it for anyone who hasn't got caught up or hasn't finished it yet. But like there are multiple points. Like the first 45 minutes of that first episode, I was like, all right, this is okay. And then they do a thing. I'm like, oh, that was incredible. That blew my socks off. And they do not the same twist, but they do like 2 or 3 more twists throughout the show where they do it again and they keep getting me and they keep getting in my comfort zone and then they switch it on its head. And I'm like, oh, this is incredible. And I binged the movies, or not. There's not that many. I can't really binge them, but I watched the movies in preparation this year as well. And I was just so enamored. I think the show kind of blows the movies out of the water for me. I think the show is on.
Especially that second movie.
I've still never seen it. Chapter 2. I never watched it.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I like the first one, but not enough to. The second one is so long, and I got intimidated. And
I've always been in that minority opinion that I prefer the original It from way back to the 2015 It. I know there are a lot of people that put that 2015 one on a pedestal, and like I like it. It's good. I enjoy it, but I don't know, that original still holds the top spot for me. And that's not even really nostalgia because I didn't see it until I was like almost 20 years old, so it's not like I grew up with it. Probably good that I didn't grow up with it, but it's not like I had a childhood attachment to it. So.
But no, I mean, has anyone finished it here, or are we all kind of like halfway through? I know, Ron, you started it, right?
Yeah, I started it, and I need to. Yeah, I've only seen the first episode, so I'm wondering whether I should finish it before I travel, before Christmas, or do it again, because I asked, I'm like, should I binge it? And I'm like, no, I think what I want to do is like maybe max 2 episodes a day and just let those episodes sit with me. And it's only 8 episodes, right?
It's 8.
Yeah.
So I might do that today.
Weekly journey that was fun, I think.
Yeah.
And
thank God they released it weekly.
It was such a good weekly journey. And like episode 7, I think, is the best TV episode of the year. Like that episode was so like, oh, I'm a mess. What they're doing, and it's like, and then episode 8 is such a slam dunk. It's like, if this is all this franchise ever does, I'm fine. I'm totally good because they did such a good job with that.
Yeah, I think out of that, episode 4 was probably the big standout for me, just because of how that ending brings everything together. Yeah, I think that's my favorite of the series, probably.
Fair enough.
1.
All right, Everest, we're back to you.
Okay. Well, I can go with a TV show because I had to double check the release dates on this, but I was very I was happy that The Pit did in fact start this year because I really like that show. I think it does I'm not the first one to say this, everyone said this, but it does feel like a little bit of a relic of the past in the sense that it feels very much like a high quality network show
Yeah.
that like my mom would watch on TV back in the day, like on cable before streaming
ER.
services.
Yeah.
ER, and I mean my mom watches every medical show. It's ridiculous. But it combined that like level of just kind of weekly in and out familiarity with characters with super high level writing and character work and production. And I think the way it's structured is super cool, how each episode is 1 hour of the day in this ER room or ER center. And I really like the performances. And it's a hard watch at times because it does go deep and it is a medical show and they don't skimp on any of the medical stuff. This has been heralded by many like professionals and medical experts as like one of the most realistic doctor shows ever. So I appreciate that about it. And yeah, I think it's a really cool piece of television that we don't get to see as much of anymore. Not that that's a good or a bad thing, but I definitely found a lot of fun watching something like The Pit this year.
I had such a blast with that show too. I watched it a couple months ago, and it comes back in a couple weeks here, which I'm very excited to watch it like live. Like that 15-week journey, I bet is so crazy to go on. But what's even crazier if you watch it almost as if like you are living those 15 hours, like you're watching it, it's so close. It's like, oh my god. But like I think it's so interesting. Obviously, it's that like 24 template. But I think it's so interesting to do that where it's like, oh yeah, they do have to stay 24 hours in one place in one room, and I'm sorry, 15. It's a 15-hour shift, but like you're doing that journey, and that's one of those shows that I like where I forget I'm watching TV, and it feels like you're just looking out the window and watching people in their lives. Like it feels like you've wandered inside an actual ER, and you're watching people do their job, and that is such a I don't know how no one has ever kind of done that before. And no one has really cracked the code because I think you're watching like Grey's Anatomy. You're watching like The Good Doctor. It's so
ER.
Yeah. It's so. I think ER is probably the closest, which makes sense because it was literally made to be a spinoff of ER before it got changed. But yeah, no, that's a fantastic pick. I love that. Ronan, we're back to you, my friend.
So I'm gonna go with a comic book called Minky Woodcock, the Girl Cockatoo. Now, a lot of people, sadly, I think I could be wrong. A lot of people haven't heard about this comic because it's from a publishing house that mostly does paperbacks and pulpy stuff. But I dug it because I remember discovering it's the third book of a series thus far, or third, chapter of the series, and I was like, yo, I have never read a comic book like this. It's noir. It's a detective. It's a female lead who's a detective, and it's the backdrop of the 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s, which I love going to those period pieces. And the reason why I bring it up because the book is so good. It's not like anything you find on the comic book stands, and for years of reading the book series and like putting out posts and whatnot, I've from time to time interacted with the creator of the book, Cynthia Von Bueller. I've interacted with her, and this year, I read this new book, and then I reached out to the publishing house or the people who put out the book, and I was like, hey, I'm a YouTuber. I love this book. Is there any way I can talk to the author? I'll promote the book out the wazoo, and I'll promote the interview. And they're like, sure, you want an hour? And I was like, yeah. And so I talked to her for an hour, and
that's awesome.
And it's up on the channel, and that was one of like, again, how I told you how this year felt weird and how I felt out of stuff. That was like one of those like, yo, I did that. How the fuck did I get away with that?
It's cool.
And she was very, very, very sweet. We geeked out about the book. We geeked out about the stuff she did go into it to do research, and then maybe I need to improve myself as an interviewer. I don't know, but all I kept asking was like, "Where's the next book? Where's the next book?" And I was like, "Where's the are we looking at a movie, a TV show? Like, where are we at? Like, is someone adapting it? Like, this needs to be like shared with the rest of the world." And she was so giddy, and she was like, "You're so sweet." And she was like, "I've written a script. So I technically got a couple exclusives. I written a script. I want to do this, and then who knows where it pans out. But like, I love that book series so much, and like these past few years, I've been patient. And I love you, Cynthia Von Bueller, but I've been like, I need another book. I love that comic book series so much. And next year, one of the goals is that maybe if there's something happening with the book series, because she mostly like does work out of New York, I can go to New York and maybe we can meet up finally in person and be like, yo, I met the author and fucking cool. So like
That's
that title and that book series and that author and that creator mean a lot to me.
Incredible. No, I think it's so interesting sometimes what you can get away with if you just like ask nicely sometimes.
Yeah.
I think sometimes we're like, oh, I can't do this. I don't have this and this and this. Is like, I think people are more down to just kind of do stuff if they know people are interested in doing the thing. And so like, she probably didn't get any other people being like, yo, I want to interview you. Because I feel like, at least on the author side, I feel like that's a lot less of a thing than like the TV and movies and stuff. So she's probably like, yeah, I'd love someone loves my thing enough to be interviewed. Like, that's awesome. So that's incredible.
Yeah, that just reminds me, like, all the things that we want to pursue in our life, like from creative personal achievements or just things to advance ourselves. It makes me think of something that Kevin Conroy said a long time ago. He said, you don't have to have superpowers to be tenacious in your goals in life. All you have to do is care enough to try.
That's the GOAT right there, dude.
Yeah.
That's my GOAT. That's my GOAT.
The GOAT of Batman.
The GOAT.
And that's what the whole thing,
rest in peace, bro.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. And we always talk about how like social media can be such a shit show of a thing, especially outside of YouTube stuff. I mean, YouTube has its own problems, but like Twitter and all this stuff. But like with that experience, with that book series, with that author, that was one of the very like occasions where I'm like, no, it kind of was helpful that I had a social media, that I engaged with social media, and that like it just panned out. And like I remember asking a friend, like, should I ask these people who are in my eyes bigger names and like icons and whatnot? Should I ask? He's like, do it, dude. The worst thing they could say is no, thank you.
No,
yeah. And I was like, okay. And so I'm glad that I did that. And I'm like, okay, maybe I should do that for these authors and this and this and this and see where that pans out.
That's incredible.
That's awesome.
All right, Jake, what's your number 3? What's your third pick?
So I'm gonna go to a comic book also. It's one that's probably a little bit more well known. Although I love that Ronan went down like he went down the Wonderland rabbit hole there, and I love that. But I'm gonna go with something on the superhero side. One that this brand, if you will, has definitely gotten attention this year. But I don't think this particular story in it has gotten the attention that it deserves. Going into the Absolute universe here.
Yeah.
A lot of things have come out from that this year that I think definitely deserve attention. And I'll be completely honest, I was hoping for this, going in. I was like, hey, maybe like is this going to be the one that stands out? Is this going to be the one that surprises people? That was the case for me. And I'm going to go with the Absolute Flash series.
Oh, okay. I was expecting Batman or Wonder Woman, but okay, go with it.
Yeah, I really think the Flash one needed to get more attention because you get it's a really unique take on Wally, who hasn't been the lead Flash in projects for a good while now. It's either been Barry or Barry and Wally sharing, and I like how you get this really unique take on his origin, which that's the great thing that the Absolute Universe does in general, where it's the character's origin, but what if that one thing was different? But not only different, but very different. And they really go all in on the concept of Elseworlds. And, not only has it gotten people talking about DC Comics in a way that they haven't had in quite a while, but all of this stuff that's happening to like a 15, 16-year-old Wally West, it again kind of brought back some memories in a weird sense. Not that I was experiencing that stuff as a 15, 16-year-old, but you go through different parts of your life where you just feel like everything is coming down on you. You feel like you're life is just imploding in itself, but you still find a way to keep trudging through it. And the fact that somebody at that young of an age has that strength, it kind of makes me think, it's like, wait, if they're doing this there, like why am I not able to trudge through this? So on a personal note, it hit. They went into a lot of different lore regarding the Speed Force that I really, really liked. I always liked whenever that's explored and just fleshes out the world a little bit more. And you do get appearances from Barry and Jay in this as well, which I love those characters a lot. So I like what they do for Wally. And yeah, I'm glad that I'm just glad Flash as a brand and as a character is still getting some love after the early 2020s were not kind to that character. So I'm glad that there's at least a little bit of a resurgence, and hey, maybe this is the start of a resurgence for the character.
Yeah. No, that's I feel that universe as a whole has kind of like, I think it started last year, but I feel like this year it's been like, oh, this is everything. It's really taken off this year, and that's kind of like the main source. I think a lot of the comic, as someone who hasn't read any of it, I feel like it's a big source of like the comic world right now.
Yeah, and when I was saying too about like there being like Speed Force lore, it's not the typical Speed Force that you see in other adaptations, so it's very very different. So, and even though like even though people like Barry and Jay make appearances, there's not a Flash family here, so Wally has to learn it all by himself. He kind of has to Peter Parker his way through it. So cool. I appreciated that a lot.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
Okay, I think I'm going to dive back into TV for my third pick here. I just want to say up front, I think Apple TV is having an incredible year right now. Obviously, Severance has been doing incredible work. That aired its second season. Pluribus is airing right now from Vince Gilligan, his third show. That's also been incredible. But I want to give a shout out to The Studio that came out this year.
Oh man, yeah, that's another one.
Shit, that show is such a fever dream of of a show. It's a show I feel like. Have you seen it, Ronan? I feel like we've talked about it, right? You haven't seen it? Okay.
Not yet. Again, another one that I was just like, fuck.
I've seen some of it. I have not seen all of it.
Sorry, I think on my end you cut out right as you said the name. What was the show? I'm sorry.
The Studio.
Oh, The Studio. Yeah. I've seen part of it. I'm not current on it.
That's such a I feel like with what we talk about in here a lot, it's really made me view the industry so differently, because it does feel like a show that's kind of being like, hey, do you want to see a secret? You want to see how things are sometimes run? Obviously, it's a satire on top of it, right? That's not actually, it's not note for note, but it is this almost this inside baseball kind of a show where it's like, man, this is crazy, and we see this kind of thing a lot. And for anyone who's gotten to the Kool-Aid episode of that show, it's just a level of insanity and I think a realness that we see in the Hollywood space a lot. The performances are great. We are getting these very serious, great actors that are being put in these very hilarious and silly circumstances. It's cool seeing Bryan Cranston lose his mind and go on it's stuff like that where it's just oh my word. And I do think if you are a fan of the movie, the TV, television space, I would recommend checking it out, because I do think it's something where I would be curious if someone who doesn't keep up with a lot of the stuff, are they going to get the same amount of enjoyment out of that satire that some of us do? But it's incredible. I loved it a lot.
It's fun. I think it's a super important show to exist, to shine a light on some of that stuff. I do think for me, I struggle with overtly cringy stuff sometimes, and secondhand embarrassment. And so this is not a great show to watch in terms of that, because it is just oh my god, they're doing that. Nope, stop. That's nope. I don't please.
Kind of reminds you of CW, doesn't it, Darren?
Sometimes. No,
no, I like what I've seen of The Studio for sure. That's a good pick.
All right, you're up. You are
All
up
right.
number 4. I think we'll probably go around for 5. I think we'll all do 5,
Okay.
and then we'll probably do like speed rounds, anything we want to bring up before we leave.
All
Okay.
right, cool.
I'm gonna go back to another movie. This is one that was kind of the talk of film Twitter for like 2 weeks when it came out, and then I think has been absolutely forgotten to the rest of the year, and that's Mickey 17 from Bong Joon-ho.
Yeah.
Oh,
This is one for me that I still hold on to as one of the stronger films of the year. Darren knows Robert Pattinson is a very important performer to me personally.
Sure.
I mean, I'm wearing my The Batman shirt right now. He's someone I've always been drawn to in the industry, and I think this is one of his best performances in this movie. I mean, kind of dual performance, playing multiple of the same character as he gets cloned in this kind of sci-fi comedy drama. Like, it's a whole lot of genres, and it's also one of the like sweetest, most romantic movies of the year. Secretly, like the central love story, I think, is really important to it. Bong Joon-ho continues to be an excellent filmmaker. I do think coming off of Parasite for him, this does clearly feel like more of a blank check. I just want to have a fun time and make a movie I'm passionate about, because it's a little bit goofy and it's a little bit out there in terms of the comedy and the satire of it. And so I think that's maybe why it didn't work for some people on the level it did for me. But I think it's a total blast, and I don't want it to be forgotten, so I'm going to bring it up here.
No, that's a good one. I feel like I just wish it had like more promotion. It felt like it was in the works for so long, and then it was out, and no one talked about it, no one promoted it. It's like, but this thing you told me to get excited about for 2 years, it's gone already.
Yeah, I do think Warner Brothers completely messed up the distribution process for that movie, because we had the one image of Robert Pattinson. It was like one of the like 4 horsemen of the one still image we've had promoting a movie for 2 years. And then it was like actually coming out and felt like nobody cared, but I saw it and I loved it, so gotta shout it out.
Incredible. Great movie. All right, Ronan, what's your number 4?
I'm going back to TV. I'm going back to animation. You guys know where I'm going.
yep.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Invincible season 3. This show is one that like I just keep loving going back to. It's one I'm proud to defend as much as we amongst our friends over just like, you know, fun jabs and here and there. This show is so damn good, and it's for someone, again, as someone who hasn't seen The Boys entirety, it's my perspective on that angle of what superhero adaptations can do. And beyond just the cool sequences and like blood and gore of that show, like I love that I keep growing and connecting more and more with Mark Grayson and Eve, Samantha Eve, Invincible and Adam Eve. Every season, dude. Like this season, this fool almost died fighting some, you know, we'll get into it a little bit probably, but like there was such a beautiful arc in terms of him owning up to what he's been through in the past 2 seasons, him trying to grow as a boyfriend, a son, a brother, and the weight of being, you know, your father's son, what that means, and managing personal life versus responsibilities. His connection with Cecil and the government to protect the planet because of Viltrumites looming danger. I adore the show and this season so much. It was one of those like things I couldn't wait to edit, even though I knew it was gonna be a pain in the ass to edit. But I couldn't wait to edit, just put it out, regardless if I got any views or whatnot. I just like, no, like listen, I have the receipts. I saw the episode and I flipped out, and it was one of those shows that like Peacemaker and other like or Creature Man, like, damn, I think I have to do a weekly series of live streams to talk about it, like to somebody. And like I can't just keep holding this in and like You were part of it, Darren, and I know,
For fun. Yeah.
yeah, and it was just a hoopla of things. And now we're getting season 4 this upcoming
March.
late winter or early spring, and I just love that. Like it's just still relevant and like connected to me and whatnot. And I'm trying my best right now to catch up with the comics because I'm trying to do a back and forth between that. So I'm gonna go with Invincible season 3.
I loved the debates I had personally in season 3. Like there was this like dilemma introduced in those first couple episodes that no one could quite like come to a consensus on who was right. Like it felt like the Civil War situation all over again, where people were so strongly, I think this character is right in what they did, and the other side being like, you idiots, no, that was a horrible thing that they just did. And it created some, I think, like the funnest conversations we had this year about like morality and justice and like the safety of numbers and like how many deaths does it take to justify them. Like those things are so fascinating.
Yeah.
And it is so refreshing to have a superhero show that is so consistently good. Anyone that stayed up with those CW shows know we had our ups and downs about like, oh, it's good. Oh, wait, no, it's not. Oh, it's good. Oh, no, it's not. So like, it's so cool to have a show like that where it's like, oh, it's just always kind of great. Like, it's never really at a down point. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, Jake, what's your number 4?
So my number 4, I'm gonna go to an angle we haven't explored yet, and I'm gonna talk about a game.
Oh,
Love it.
Yeah.
Very fun.
And
I was wondering if you and I were going to bring it up, and I'm like, I'm going to leave it for Jake. If I think what you're going to bring
Wolverine game trailer, Jake?
no.
Oh, okay, never mind. Cool.
Yeah, no, it actually wasn't the Wolverine trailer.
That'd be hilarious to pick a trailer.
No, it wasn't. Wait, Ronan, were you thinking that or okay?
Yeah, I thought that live stream that us talking about that.
Oh
shit
yeah,
like,
I mean,
that
was definitely a great moment. I felt so bad for Darren during that, but
Mike goes out as soon as it plays. That was awful.
Yeah. Then we got duped into thinking the trailer started early. So
my bad.
That was another part. No, you're good. So this isn't exactly a new game, but an old game reimagined. Coming from a personal favorite franchise of mine, I was very happy to see this brought to current day and current consoles. And I'm going with the Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remastered that came out in April of this year. Elder Scrolls is one of my favorite game franchises. Love it to bits. With how much I tend to stream Skyrim over on my Lost Levels series, that's probably clear. But I have somewhere, I don't know where it's at the moment, but I still have my original Game of the Year, Elder Scrolls 4 copies. So played it on PS3 a good amount. And I think, Everest, you were talking about it earlier with the whole world building side of things.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for world building as well when it's done greatly. And that series just has got such a deep, rich history that spans back, several in-game centuries at this point. And, there's so much there, so much lineage that carries on from past games and goes on to future ones. And you get to see all these different sides of the world and, the first and second era and, all these different, like just sides of the world. You get, people like the Dark Brotherhood, you get, the Thieves Guild, you get, just exploring Oblivion and Apocrypha more. And, that was one of my favorite games from around that time. So seeing it reimagined, again, I know it's the same game, but it almost felt like a new experience in a way. I was playing it as somebody that's, now in my 30s versus when that came out. So it, not only was I at a different spot mentally, but I just was reminded of why I loved that series so much. And, this sounds kind of sad to say, but apart from my, Lost Level series and the occasional thing here and there, I don't really play games for fun on my own anymore. Just on my own personal enjoyment. that was one of the few times this year where I broke from that mold, and I was so happy I did. Yeah, loved that one to bits.
That's a world where I've tried, but I get too lost in it. Like it's too big that I'm like I don't know what to do.
Darren needs a couple guardrails, at least, you know,
yeah.
a little
Yeah.
somewhere within the vicinity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of got thrown into the deep end with that world, and like really starting with Morrowind, like it was at the middle point, and I was like, all right, what's all this before? And I quickly caught up on that, and then your mind just gets filled with so much stuff as you go into the DLCs in Morrowind, then Oblivion, and then of course Skyrim with everything there. Been waiting for Elder Scrolls 6 for almost 15 years now, and I feel really weird saying that because Skyrim turns 15 next year. I feel old, but like why? I'm assuming we can actually get an update on that soon, and not another Skyrim re-release. But Todd Howard's leather jackets don't pay for themselves. But we'll just see what happens there. But yeah, I had to throw in the Oblivion remake, and the fellas here know I love that franchise, so that was definitely going to be a standout for me this year.
Oh yeah. All right, my number 4. I feel like I have to bring this up because it is my current number 1 movie of the year, so I do want to bring it up. The new Knives Out. New Knives Out, Wake Up Dead Man. I was very pleasantly surprised about. I won't dive into spoilers of it all. Obviously, not everyone here has seen it yet, but
as soon as I get off this podcast, I'm hopping in a car to somebody's house.
So good, man.
We're watching it. So.
I love the first movie. I think that first movie is such just a gem. It's such a
It's a perfect movie. The first Knives Out is a literal masterpiece. Yeah.
It's so fun, and I really enjoyed Glass Onion. I really enjoyed Glass Onion. I think it's fun. I think it's a little too overhated, but it was a bit of a step down for me comparatively to the first one. I didn't love it as much, and I think this third movie, while maybe not on the level of the first one for me, was such a step back in that right direction. I think they know how to keep it fresh. I think that was needed. They could have came back in here and kind of did the same template of those first 2 movies. And I think this movie almost feels like a snow globe because they know what you're expecting. They know the expectations, and it shakes it up a bit. And there's these twists and turns within it that you don't see coming. It goes for a very different tone and style. The acting in this, I think, is I don't think people are talking about enough how good the acting in this movie are.
And it's funny.
It is funny. Josh Brolin is insane in this movie. Josh Brolin, I think, gives maybe his best performance that I have personally seen. Like, there are scenes where I'm like, oh God, okay, they're doing that. And then
Thanos who?
Yeah, no, for sure. My only kind of issue with it is I kind of wish, and maybe for this reason might go down to my number 2 or something, but like, some of the characters I do wish I knew a little bit more. Like, there are some characters where I'm like, I want to know you a bit more. I don't know your entire deal. I want to see more of that on screen. But that third act is beautiful. Like, the way they end this movie, I am like, oh, that's gorgeous. And I think maybe the best moments of the Knives Out movies so far. I'm like, oh, that's a gorgeous ending. I can't believe they went in this direction. So I like Knives Out. I hope it gets recognized in some sort of award capacity. I don't know how Netflix works in that area. I don't know how much of it they're allowed to go for, but
I agree with you. Like, Daniel Craig, I think this might be my favorite role of his, and I love him as James Bond. He is my James Bond. Like that, I've grown up going to the cinemas to go watch. Like, he's my James Bond.
Yeah.
Same. And him as Benoit Blanc has such range. To do, and especially this one. His mannerisms of like trying to use technology. I put it to this way, without context. This is a moment where he's just like tapping something, and he's like he's giddy about it, and it's like, wait, what the hell?
It's cool to see him in a different role this time around in a very different environment.
And you just want to know more about him, and you do get a sense of a little more of like why he's bothering to take this case. I'm still interested, like, why this case? Like, how did you get to this one? He probably found a vlog or something. And I love that, like you said it, Darren, that like it feels more Knives Out than Glass Onion. That's not a bad thing, but like I love Knives Out so much, and the protagonist of the film is such much like Monet in Glass Onion, and especially Ana de Armas in Knives Out feels so earned, and you want them to like be good and do good, and stuff happens this one, and you're like, wow, this puts me in the ringer. And again, the comedy, I didn't expect to laugh as much. And just like not even planned stuff, just like situational stuff happening. I'm like, oh my god, this is hilarious that we're dealing with like faith and like the bleakness of it all. And yeah, I need a physical copy of this and Glass Onion, in my opinion, because I have Knives Out on Blu-ray. And I think I put on my video that I'm like, I need if Ryan Johnson's gonna take a break, do another film, and then maybe do another Knives Out story.
Mm-hmm.
I need a Knives Out paperback. I need another case with Benoit Blanc and a book that I can read. Like, and if you want to even go and pick another all-star cast, do an audiobook version, and you just cast someone that can record a session for like a day or two. Like, I really want to go with Benoit Blanc.
I think the only way I would have enjoyed this more is if I could have watched it on the big screen as intended. Like, I know some people got to do that. My area, that was not a thing. So I was here on my computer screen watching it. Like, I wish I could have seen that on the big screen. It's just, that's another side story, though. Okay, we are at our end point of the episode, but one final pick from each person to wrap this up. What is the last major thing you guys want to represent your 2025 lists? Starting with you, Everest.
Yeah, I think I gotta just go with another movie. There's one more that I really, really loved so far this year. I'm glad you mentioned The Studio, Darren, because that was another like TV thing that I thought was really impressive. I also started watching New Girl for the first time this year, so that was, while not a new show, kind of a big experience with me and my girlfriend, and I watched it together, and it's a great show. It really is. I know you love it. That's a great show. I'm going to go, it's funny you mentioned Josh Brolin. I'm going to go with Weapons, which was kind of a horror movie revelation, kind of a cultural, pop culture revelation with the kids. Some people have come out, I think, since it came out and had some issues with it. I love this movie. I do think it is a great combination of like some classic horror stuff that works and like a true horror villain that has the potential to be an iconic one in all of horror, with the very like Prisoners-esque small town detective mystery story that's going on. Josh Brolin is really good in this movie. The villain, I mean the woman who I'm forgetting her name, who plays the villain, gives a phenomenal performance. Great performances all around, like really interesting lead into this movie, and it also plays with structure in a way that I think is really cool. I saw this one in the theater with my friend, and we both just had a great time. We were like, oh my god, what is happening right now? Like, it finds those moments to shock you, and then it gives you a good payoff towards the end. So I'm also not traditionally like a big horror head in terms of like, that's not my genre, but I really liked Weapons, and it was, to that point, One Battle After Another hadn't come out yet. Sinners felt clear and away to me like the best movie of the year, and nothing was really close. Even though I liked Superman a lot, Thunderbolts was good. Companion was another movie early in the year that kind of surprised me. But Weapons came out in the summer and was like, yeah, that rules. So I'm gonna go with that one to end it off, and I feel great. Feel great about it.
That's just like another one of those big ones, or like, oh yeah, that's one of the big like conversation movies. Actually, I'd say this year has been a great year for like original movies. Like, I felt like there was a lot of these original IPs that people caught on, which is so refreshing, just so important. I think that's great. All right, Ronan, your final choice here.
So I'm gonna go unorthodox. I'm gonna give you a show, an anime show that, as far as I know, only has this one season, but I haven't finished yet. But it's been on my mind ever since I like left it to like go back and finish it. I just need time to be like, no editing, no making thumbnails, no buying groceries. Just leave me alone to experience this anime. And I'm gonna echo, just please, so people go watch it. I'm gonna go echo Lazarus. It's an anime that's on HBO on Adult Swim
Yes.
from the creator Shinichiro Watanabe. It feels like the grandson or son of Cowboy Bebop, but on the backdrop is something very potentially too close to home. And I'll leave it at that. This group of people have to find someone because something's happening. And I'll leave it at that. And I'll say this: the animation is just gorgeous to look at. The music is to die for. And you know what? I'm making an executive decision because of this episode of Tyler Podcast. I'm putting it down tonight. I'm telling everybody, fuck off. Like, I'm not gonna join this. I'm not gonna join another stream or anything like that until I finish this anime tonight.
There you go.
And because when I was watching it, I was just so in. And because some personal stuff happened, I had to let go of it. But it's been a haunting my mind. I'm like, no, before the clock hits midnight on the 31st of December, I need to finish that show and add it to my list of like. And I hope it sticks the landing. I haven't finished it, but like it is gorgeous animation. And it's also, if you're a fan of John Wick, the director of that film also helped with the action coordination.
Yep.
With this.
Oh, wow.
You feel the John Wick, what was it called? Gung Fu. You feel it in his anime.
That's cool.
Yeah, I definitely agree with what you're saying about the bits of the plot hitting a little too close to home with recent years, but yeah, I actually liked that series a lot. I was glad somebody brought that up. I had not thought about it, but I was like, oh yeah, I'm really digging this right now. So as soon as you brought that up, I'm like, okay, cool.
I love your variety, Ronan, of like live action movie, anime, animated show.
I know he hit them all. I feel like
a comic.
You had
Ronan and Jake really had us covered today on the diversity. So,
I mean, no bikes so far. I was really hoping someone would get that dirt bike representation out there, but
the economy's bad right now, man. I can't afford a dirt bike.
I mean, Everest, you're the sports guy, right?
I am the sports guy. Yes.
Don't even get me started on the next year.
Any
Don't even get me
football
started.
games, Everest?
On the what next year?
What's the best? What's been the best? I mean,
World
the
Cup.
football game last night was unbelievable. Seahawks Rams going into overtime, and Seattle coming back from down 2 touchdowns to steal that one. That was a great one. My Eagles not looking too hot, but we won the Super Bowl last year, so can't complain too much. Maybe we pick it back up. We'll see. No, a lot of good sports going on. NBA is not that interesting because the Oklahoma City Thunder are just gonna win every single game ever, actually, for the next couple of years.
All right,
the hilarious thing, this before we get on to that last one, the hilarious thing is that like I've been a baseball fan for most of my life. I used to be into more sports, but aside from like just watching MLB games, the biggest sports attachment I had was whenever I was on my old channel back in the day and I was streaming on Twitch, like every other week or so, it would be a Mario sports game, whether it was baseball or soccer. It was often back and forth between those two, and it was the old school ones. It was the GameCube ones. So I kept getting comments saying this guy should be a sports commentator. It's like, I will take that compliment.
There you go. That's a great compliment. I played the shit out of Mario Super Sluggers on the Wii when I was a kid. That was oh my gosh. So much time put into that game.
Maybe I'm in a minority here, I'm noticing, because I see everybody bring up that one. I like Sluggers. I haven't did a retro review.
I've heard Superstar Baseball or whatever the predecessor one is great too.
Yeah. I like that one a lot more personally.
Okay.
Well, with that, Jake, what is your final pick here? Can it beat Mario? Can it beat Mario Super Sluggers?
Probably not, but we'll see. So I'm going to go with one that I haven't not finished it because I haven't just gotten to it. It actually hasn't ended yet. The finale is in 11 days, the season finale. I'm going with a TV show. And it's really not one that I heard people talk about. No, it's not that one. No. Sorry. I immediately knew where he went.
There's like 2 that's ending soon that you could pick.
Yeah. So I'm probably not referring to either one of them.
Heated Rivalry, The gay hockey show on HBO Max.
Nope, not that one either. So, kind of similar to another entry on this list. This is not the first depiction of this world or this character, but one that really stood out to me. And again, just there was no water cooler discussion about this at all. I feel like almost no one I knew was talking about it. I'm going with the Robin Hood series that came out this year.
Oh,
And
okay.
I didn't know that existed, so please enlighten me.
Yeah.
I heard about it. Yeah.
I was really into that one, and I didn't expect to be. Like, I did not expect to be as into that series as I was. And they, first of all, I love the setting that they have of 12th century England. I just love the world that they were able to build around it. And just the concept, I won't spoil too much of it, but just the concept of you have an outlaw like Locksley who is, on the vigilantism side of things and is wanting to, put an end to corruption and just, stop the ruling of the people that are being ruled with an iron fist in the town. But then he forms an unlikely alliance with somebody that has ties to the royal court that feels kind of the same way about corrupt justice and rule that he does. So you've got people on two different sides of it that are fighting for the same thing. And the back and forth between them with their different viewpoints, I thought was just really, really something that I hadn't seen in too many depictions of that character. Sean Bean is actually in the series as well, which it's always a ton of fun seeing him. And yeah, I have loved the series so far. And like I said, the finale is in 11 days. So if it sticks the landing, it's going to be up there as one of my favorite seasons of TV for the year. And it was just something that I really never saw anyone talk about. So I kind of felt like the outlier there.
Okay, fair enough. I saw it marketed that I hadn't seen much outside of that. But hell yeah, I love an underdog. Yeah. So to go into my pick as we kind of wrap this thing up, I do very, very quickly want to give a shout out to just the Superman of it all. It didn't end up on anyone's personal list here, but it did officially launch just the DCU as a whole. I want to give a shout out to because we did get the launch of a new DC universe this year. Yeah. That's something I think we were all pretty excited for. We've been talking about that for many years now. So shout out to Creature Commandos, shout out to Superman. And even though if it wasn't everyone's here's favorite, Peacemaker did also start this year. So shout out to them.
Yeah.
Also ended this year.
And also just K-pop Demon Hunters is another one where it's that took the world by storm this year.
Huge culture movie. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to put both of those on the thumbnail of it all. So it's okay, I at least want to give them the shout outs. I think both Sinners and K-pop felt oh, these are going to be talked about in 10 years. These are cultural movies. So
yeah. And we only kind of mentioned this one in passing. I just want to throw out, I'm sorry if this is your last one.
Okay.
I just want to throw out Fantastic Four. Loved that one.
It was not. So okay. Yeah, no, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
That's another one we've talked about for many years. So yeah, I'm glad that's finally out and we saw that. But as I have another Marvel project because I haven't talked about any comic book projects yet as my main picks. And I do at least want to pick one out. I think people forgot it was this year because it aired back in January. But I loved Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man Plus series we got back in January. That was I actually think I think we talked about that back in the spring when we did our halfway mark thing. But that was such a shock. That was such a this will probably be fine, and it did end up being my favorite comic book show of 2025. I thought that was such a breath of fresh air. It takes everything that makes Spider-Man from all the comics, all the games, all the movies, all the shows, and shakes it up, and it makes this Frankenstein version of the character that respects where the character is, but also reimagines it for a new future. And I thought it was beautiful. I thought the show was such an incredible fun time. We're supposed to be getting season 2 next year, which is so much fun that we get to have it back to back. So just yearly TV is also just back next year, which is so unbelievably exciting. I cannot wait for that. But with that being said, I do think that kind of takes us to the end of the episode. I know, I was trying to get us out by a certain point, but I just want to say a big thank you to everyone in 2025. I had the time of my life this year. working with people I know like you guys, but also getting to meet so many incredibly new people and everyone that showed support this year. It means the world to me, and I cannot wait for 2026. So thanks for everyone for the support this year. But I do want to go through and make sure you guys have the spotlight to promote anything you guys got going on and where you guys are heading in 2026. So Everest, you started a podcast this year. Obviously, you're very busy via your social medias, but is there anything you want to shout out, promo, etc.?
Yeah, I started a podcast called The Mountaintop after my name, Everest. The Mountaintop with Everest. There we go. Gonna try to be more consistent on that, but you can check that out for kind of unique sports takes as well as mixing in some pop culture, some movies and stuff. And then if you want to find me on social media, I'm kind of pursuing a career in sports media and the sports communication industry. So you can hear me on broadcasts and interviewing athletes and all sorts of stuff like that.
Incredible.
Nice.
Yeah.
Go check out his stuff. I want his podcast channel to get to 2 million by tomorrow, please.
All
right, let's get those monkeys from Superman doing work.
Ronan, you're always working, you're always going places, you're always editing, you're always podcasting. Where can we find you? What are you looking for in 2026? Tell us all of it. Tell us all the things.
You can find me at the airport. No, I'm just kidding. You can follow me at Rona Jane on YouTube and all the socials. I have coverage for Stranger Things right now that you can go watch. I have coverage for the Mandalorian Grogu trailer reactions that you can watch. Me and a mutual friend of ours, Lance, are rewatching the original series Mandalorian episode by episode, and I'm gonna be dropping that. Try to drop that weekly. And the goal is to cover the whole show leading up to the film. That way, it's a good rewatch of that series. And as more seasons start popping up, I might invite others, maybe a couple people you might see here, to be part of it and see what they feel about the show. And I have some Kill Bill coverage as well. I have some anime coverage as well. I think I just did. God, I'm already forgetting what I've dropped. Some Lanterns first look reactions, some gaming
he
stuff.
works too much. He forgets everything he's done.
I was just like, when we were listening to the thing, I'm like, wait a minute, what did I watch this year? I'm like, oh yeah, right, this.
Did you finish the Supergirl book?
Yeah, I did. I did finish the Supergirl book, and that's another thing I gotta drop a review for that. But yeah, I'm just looking to travel next year a lot. I'll cover a lot of stuff, and I always tell folks in any video that I show up, I'm like, listen, the more subscribers my channel grows, the more money I can start earning, and the more time I can just commit to this. So if you want weekly Ronan Unchained stuff, you want vlogs, you want all the stuff, subscribe. That way people pay me money, and that way I can keep the lights on, the roof on, and I can just be out of the country for a week. I will happily vlog a week of Japan if I can start growing the channel more.
Incredible.
Nice.
And you, Jake, you have a big year ahead. Anything you want to shout out, promo? Where are you heading come next year?
Yeah, I do. Got a large stock of things happening. Obviously, this year, back in March, I started my Lost Levels stream series. The origin of it was a little bit depressing because my system kind of decided that it didn't want to work anymore, so it had to go through a factory reset, and therefore a bunch of my data got lost as a result. So I started I was a little bit upset there, but I was like, you know what, I could get this back on my own time, or I could turn it into a weekly stream series where I'm getting it all back. So that's how the Lost Levels series kind of started. And just this past Sunday, we got back all of the data in the first Lego Marvel Superheroes game, so that is another game completed for 2025. That and Batman Arkham Asylum are now in the completed category, so Lost Levels have been recovered. And right now we've got Skyrim, which who knows when that's going to conclude, but does it ever really? And then currently Arkham City, and then the new game that's going to be taking in the spot of Lego Marvel. I haven't actually announced this yet, but I'll go ahead and say it here. First look. To build up hype for the Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight coming next year, which
I'm so excited for that, by the way. So excited for that.
Yeah. You're definitely gonna get coverage of that here. To build up hype for that, we are doing for our next Lost Levels is Lego Batman 3 Beyond Gotham. So we're gonna be getting the data for that back. And then the different things that we have coming out, of course, I mentioned to you guys before we started, I have an hour-long collab releasing in a few days where me and a good friend Electric Alex, we talked about what were, in our opinions, the best superhero games. We did that recording a good while back, but now it's finally coming out. And then the normal stuff, I got out another Jack and Daxter episode on Wednesday. I'm definitely going to try to conclude that in the first few months of next year. Lost Levels is going to get a little bit of a new paint job. It's going to look a little bit different, and I'm going to start attempting, and we're going to see how this works. I'm going to try to stream from both YouTube and Twitch simultaneously because I still have my affiliate status on Twitch. I still have a small handful of followers on there. So we're going to see if that can kick off and kind of like what Ronan said, contribute to, a little bit of monetary gain here to, help keep these lights on, help keep everything, I guess, functioning, if you will, and then contribute to things next year. I have a small handful of trips next year, one of which is San Diego. God help me on that one. That's going to be
crazy for you guys.
That's going to be a task, but we'll find some way to make it work. And then, I've got some pretty big projects happening in 2026, both in personal and on the YouTube side. Trying to hit that 2,000 subscriber milestone. I want to see if we can maybe get there by the time Comic-Con comes around, and trying to get monetization as well. I'm closer than I've ever been after I took a little bit of a dip, but now we're closer than we were before, so hoping to get both of those goals pretty soon.
Incredible. Well, go check out all of these guys' amazing stuff. Thank you for the incredible 2025. Obviously, Pipeline next week will be the start of season 4. We'll do our most anticipated episodes, a movies of the year episode, along with editor credits. We're doing stuff like Percy Jackson right now. We're doing Fallout. We got a lot of shows around the corner. And without further ado, we will see you guys next year. Bye-bye.